Hello viewers and subscribers. In this video, I'll be presenting about my experience with utilizing a 3S and a 4S Lipo battery to power this EV Peak CQ3 RC Hobby chemistry charger. And as far as why I've been utilizing a 3S and a 4S LiPo battery for powering this charger, that is because I just want to find a way to make a use of these batteries while I am not comfortable letting them be used for RC aircraft flying, but I know that there's still some life left in the battery packs. And as far as seeing three separate battery packs here, two of these color red ones are actually the same size and models of 3S LiPo batteries that I actually connect in a parallel circuit for powering this charger. And I'll just kind of demonstrate on how I would get this charger powered off of these two identical red 3S batteries in parallel. Okay. A couple another thing first is plug into this XT60 ESC connector here, and it actually says right here DC input 11 to 18 volts, and sorry if you might have a hard time seeing that label clearly, but yeah, it says DC input 11 to 18 volts. And with that, I just plug in this adapter. Has the XT60 and EC3, and this Hobbyco star plug parallel wireless harness is connected to this type of Dean's Ultra plug and EC3 adapter here. And okay. So the light come on there just by plugging one of the batteries in for now, but okay. Okay. So yeah. Let's show about these two of the identical 3S batteries hooked up in parallel for powering that charger. And the only time I would use an actual 3S LiPo battery to power this charger is if I'm only going to use up to two separate channels that have two individual, let's just say 1S 3.7 volt batteries, or just in general having using two separate channels where each channel is using a rechargeable battery pack where both of those batteries nominal voltages would be less than, I would say, 5 volts, like maybe per individual battery pack. And so in other words, with using a 3S battery to like power this charger for charging a different battery or discharging a different battery and so on and forth, I just make sure that for using up to 2 separate channels, to plug a battery into that those like 2 separate channels basically would not go anywhere close to like adding up to like 10.5 volts, since you know that in this case being like a 3S battery, that's an 11.1 volt nominal voltage battery. And okay, I'll just unplug the 3S batteries for now. Okay. And I'll just kind of just show off plugging in this 4S Lipo battery. Okay. Yep, and for plugging this 4S battery, which has an EC3 discharge connector, I still have that whatever EC3 XT60 adapter hooked up there. And the situations where I'm fine using a 4S Lipo battery to power this charger is, of course, only using up to 2 separate channels for like having a battery plugged into the channel, and as in like for each channel basically having some kind of rechargeable battery that I would say has a nominal voltage of like no more than I'm sorry, I'm sorry about my mumbling on stuff. Okay, so I would say that the only time I would use like a 4S battery to power this charger is that I would only use up to 2 separate charge of these channels, having an actual like rechargeable battery plugged into the channels, and where each of the rechargeable battery plugged into one of the channels, having a like nominal voltage of no more than like I would say 6 volts or so as far as like nominal voltages go per like individual rechargeable battery plugged into a channel. So I'll just say, for example, with like using this 4S battery to power a charger and have 2 separate channels that each have a rechargeable battery to the channel. Like for example, fine with having one channel with a 2S 7.4 volt battery and the other channel with a 1S 3.7 volt battery, since like the total voltages of one 2S battery and one individual 1S battery does not add up to the total voltage of a 4S battery, Lipo battery. So as well, like I wouldn't be doing like, 2 separate channels, each having a 2S Lipo, for example, since, well, 2 individual 2S batteries would add up to a 4S battery voltage, for example, or one channel having a 2S LiPo battery, but the other channel having a 3S LiPo battery. And but yeah, just basically my point is that whatever rechargeable battery I'm using to power the charger, I just make sure that for all the batteries that are to be plugged into a channel, that it doesn't add up to the voltage of the battery powering the charger. And from earlier when I was trying to explain about when I would use these batteries to power a charger, sorry if I sounded a little bit confusing with my wording and my hesitations that I kind of went through with how to word things about my explanations. And as well, I'm going to unplug the 4S battery from the charger. Hope you viewers and subscribers enjoy my presentation video about using a 3S 11.1 volt and or a 4S 14.8 volt LiPo battery to power this EV Peak CQ3 RC Hobby chemistry charger. Thank you very much and enjoy.